Clint, coming here to Kentucky Speedway, maybe talk about how the win last week you look to propel you the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was a really big win for us, for myself personally, on a road course like that out in Sonoma. It was really special. I'm just excited, for everybody at MWR, everybody behind me, Toyota, 5 Hour Energy, Brian Patty, everybody on this crew. That was a huge day for us. Huge confidence booster, momentum builder going into this season. Just so many unknowns, and to be able to go out there and get our first win of the season together as a group is just huge.
Thank you, Clint. We'll take questions now for Clint, our most recent winner. If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll get to you. Questions for Clint Bowyer. Lee has one right here. If we can hustle and get the mic, and then we'll go over here to Marty.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing Blake Shelton did as,
just what a perfect time, to have our grand opening of our community building we built at Emporia in my hometown. Blake was on schedule, but, I was just hoping that I could win the race and have something to celebrate. It was just icing on the cake to be able to go back there and have them there Tuesday. And put on a hell of a show like he always does, and really has a good time. Really gets the fans in the crowd charged up and excited. I mean, it's just a one-man show right there. A guitar and a microphone's all he had, and it's amazing when those guys the cream of the crop are able to do that. You just really gets a sense of how good they are as an artist, because they don't have all that background, noise and band behind them. It's just them up there. So just really thankful he came and did that, helped me out with our grand opening of the building. Went off in a big way. It was a big celebration and a party, and hopefully we can make that an annual thing for our charity building, and be able to have some sort of benefit concert every year.
Let's go over here to Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Congratulations again on last weekend.
Thanks, brother.
When a driver makes the decision in the middle of a season to move on to something else the following year, what's the challenge like to stay focused on what you're trying to do that season, like Matt has to face right now?
Well, it's really hard, and for us it was kind of catastrophic, to be honest with you. I mean, it's hard to keep everybody going. It's everybody's sees the end of the road, and the tunnel. I guess the light at the end of the tunnel is near, and it was, for me, it was very hard to keep that momentum going. Everybody was kind of wanting to give up, on the season and get it over with. But we weren't in a chase contention type of thing like Matt is. I'm telling you, Matt's a champion, and they'll see this thing through the end. There'll be a team that's competing for the championship. That would just be pretty ironic, to have a guy that's leaving racing for a championship. That'd make everybody. That'd make you guys work. That'd be a good story for you guys.
Would be. All right, let's go back to Lee. Lee has a question. Go ahead, Lee.
To kind of follow up on that, now that like the first domino has fallen, you were kind of in that limbo situation. Your deal worked out fabulous. I mean, it might not have been the first deal that you wanted. Of course, Roush would have really loved to have had you come over there. What's your advice for the other guys that are in that situation, looking around and want to find what the best deal is for them?
Just to focus on racing. I mean, that's the only thing you can truly focus on. The dominoes, like you said, they're going to fall how they fall. But the biggest thing that can interrupt or detour one's thinking or something is if your performance, falls off on the racetrack. You've got to keep that first and foremost, keep your name out there, do the best job you can on the racetrack. And if you do that, 9 times out of 10, the rest will take care of itself. But this is very difficult times. What I went through last year was so nerve-wracking. It's very difficult to be able to go through that, not knowing what the future holds for you. And but it's not always doom and gloom. I mean, look where I landed. I couldn't be happier now, looking back at everything and what happened. I mean, it's couldn't have been a better situation for me.
Other questions for Clint? Let's go with Reed. Gentleman over here, and we will probably end with Patrick. Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Somebody who was watching you closely at Sonoma said basically they watched you lap after lap and you never put a wheel in the wrong place. From a dirt track oval background, how did you learn to do that? Is it more instinct or is it practice?
Well, it's it's instinct to stay out of the dirt at one of those road courses. Trust me, that's the goal. But it's very, very hard to achieve that goal for me. But that being said, I've always been able to go to Sonoma and run well. I've never been able to break into that, top 3 or 4 group. I guess I'd say top 3, but never been able to break out and lead laps, I guess I should say. And we just had a great race car all weekend long. I had a good feeling about it, good vibe about the whole weekend, and it was time. You don't get that opportunity very often to have a car like that. Kurt put so much pressure on me, and it was very difficult to hold your composure and know where he was strong and try to guard that, try to better yourself through those areas, and that's the biggest thing. You go out there and you race every lap, every corner 100%. That's the best you can do, and sometimes when you try to pick it up and do more than what you're capable of doing, you get yourself in trouble, and that's what I didn't want to do. I was just trying to focus on making sure that I hit my marks and ran my race at my speed and not slip up and make a mistake and hand it to him. If he was going to pass me, I was going to make him earn it.
All right, let's go to this gentleman here, Patrick, and this fellow right here, and we'll see where we are because Matt Kins will be in here second. Go ahead.
Clint, Mike Ackelson from WFMJ TV. You're in a group of drivers now and have 1 win. Do you maybe take that gamble to get that second win because it would push you up into that wild card spot now?
You don't take the gamble. If it's there, you take it, but you can't take a gamble. We can't afford to because I mean where we're at, we can race our way into this thing. We're a few points from 5th place. For crying out loud, you can't look back and try to cover yourself for the 12th spot. In the situation we're in. If we are, we'll find ourselves in 12th, trying to find a win to get ourselves in. We just got to stay focused on what we're doing, keep these solid finishes coming, and working together. If we do that, we won't have to worry about that. But certainly, it's going to take 2 races to get yourself in. There's guys on the outside already. I see Keselowski's got 2. He's right there on the border. Kane's got 1. He's certainly capable of getting another one anytime. So there's guys out there that are looming that are definitely capable of winning races and getting themselves a wild card spot.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Patrick Levy, NASCAR Productions. Clint, looking ahead to Loudon in a few weeks. You've had 2 wins there, a couple top 10s. What is it about that track that you get? And also Indy's coming up as well. It's a track that has a lot of history in motorsports. Do you have any pressure to perform better at Indy?
Yeah, New Hampshire is one of my favorite racetracks. We've run well there. I don't know, when you go to certain racetracks as a racer, there's just certain places that you take to better than others. That's certainly been one of the places for me. We've probably should have won a lot more races than just 2 cup races there. I mean, we've dominated a few truck races and some nationwide races. It just never could get everything to fall your way. That being said, it's hard to get things to go your way 100% and have all the stars line up. You can have dominant race cars as we did last week in Sonoma and almost got it taken from us there. Just another prime example of how hard it is to win these races. But Indy, it raises everybody's expectations up. There's just a different level to perform to at that place, and it's all across the board. I mean, it's from the media to the to the engine guys, to the chassis guys, to the sponsors. Everybody just steps up in a big way for that race to make that what it is. It's one of the biggest races of the year for us, and we don't take it lightly.
Let's go right here.
Clint, kind of piggybacking off that question, talking about Indianapolis, a lot of people consider that the 2nd biggest race on the circuit. Would you agree behind Daytona, or kind of give me your thoughts on that?
Well, certainly Indy's a big place. There's a lot of history and tradition behind that for motorsports, not only for our sport, but for all of motorsports. But the biggest thing this weekend is they've done such a great job of this racetrack here in Kentucky. The crowd, the fan base has, become one of the biggest we go to, and you know, this is a huge market for us to be in. You know, we've had a lot of problems in this sport getting people in to watch us race. This isn't one we've ever seen before, and you know, I'm glad that they've addressed those problems, and I look forward to putting on a hell of a race for them.
Got time for two quick ones. I'm sorry, Woody. This one here, and then Joe Menzer.
Clint, I know you all race in hot conditions as it is, but can you just go ahead and talk about the heat that we have this weekend?
Going to be a little steamy in the car. If you want to ride with me, you're more than welcome. It'll be fun. I think we may need these fire suits for too long without even a fire in the car. It's pretty hot, but it's the same for everybody. You just got to tough it out. I've been out in the Midwest all week long. It's been in the hundreds, 104, 105. I think I saw 106 one day, so I'm kind of used to it. But I'll be a lot more hydrated this weekend than I was this week. I can promise you that.
Final question, Joe.
Joe Manzer, NASCAR.com. Clint, I'm just wondering, have you had an opportunity to have your picture taken with the Michael Waltrip UK National Championship car?
I haven't. I haven't even seen that car. They were a pain in my butt here a couple months ago, and it's a big opportunity for him, and he's excited about it. But I'm not too thrilled about seeing a Kentucky car now. I'm KU.